Hello and welcome back to Full Count, where we are ranking the teams 30 to 1. And in this episode, as you saw, you clicked on it, number 28, the St. Louis Cardinals, which is probably the lowest they will ever be, lowest they've ever been, even though I haven't been doing this long, obviously, but like lowest anybody's ever had, the Cardinals. Yeah, it's not going to be an ideal year for Cardinals fans. I do think the NL Central is much improved, which plays into this ranking. Like, I don't think they have the third worst roster in Major League Baseball, per se. Well, actually, they might. But either way, um, yeah, they're not very good. If you're new here, though, well, first, thanks for stopping by, checking it out. Um, but yeah, basically just going to be baseball talk show, and it's just me, solo show. Um, we're just talking baseball. So if you're a baseball lover, join, share with your friends, whatever. But let's get into this St. Louis Cardinals lineup. In the one hole, you got a left fielder, Lars Nootbaar. Probably my favorite player on the Cardinals. Not in terms of like, do I think he's the best player? No. But he's my favorite player. Just like, obviously a good dude. Awesome guy. When they come to Wrigley, it's everybody's new. It's like, that's pretty cool, I think. But anyways, last year was weird for Lars. He played the most games of his career, but probably had the worst production of his career, especially for what he's typically great at, which is getting on base. He had a 686 OPS, so not something you want at the top of your order. That being said, I do think he'll have a much improved season this year because Lars is a good player. He will get on base more. He will hit for more power. He doesn't really chase a lot or whiff. He never really has. Like, he's a good ball player. Like I said, he's good, and I expect a better season this year. In the two hole, the DH, Ivan Herrera. People are very high on this guy. There's no doubt that this guy's a plus bat at the catcher position. He's 25 years old, so he may develop more skills behind the plate as well. I mean, even though he's DHing right now, but just long-term catcher maybe, since he's 25. He's probably the best player on this team. It's either him or Mason Wynn, but it's probably definitely Ivan Herrera. But we'll get to Mason later. Ivan had a great year last season. He played 107 games and had a 284 batting average with a 374 on base, 19 homers, and an 837 OPS. This dude can flat out rake. He's gonna hit for a decent average, and he's got some pop. I like Ivan to have probably a great year again in 2026. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't, especially he'll platoon catcher, but yeah, I think Ivan's really good, and Cardinals fans should definitely be excited for him. By the way, sorry, a little congested, so it's, I don't know. If I sound weird, sound stuffed, that's why, because I am. In the three hole, first baseman, Alec Burleson. I actually met this guy, and he's an awesome dude. I'm always rooting for Alec Burleson. He's, I'd say, just the best pure hitter on this team, and I absolutely love him. Like, he's going to hit around 280. He's going to hit around 20 homers. He's an absolute dog. When you watch this guy hit, it's just like, I swear every time I turn on the TV and if the Cardinals are on, he just squares the ball up, like all the time. He also doesn't really strike out at all. So yeah, I love me some Alec Burleson. He's not like your typical first baseman. He's not like a Pete Alonso type, like just going to hit 30 plus homers. But this guy's more like you know what? Alec Burleson is Nolan Sean Wells peak. Like, and that, I mean that in the nicest way possible. Like, Nolan Schanuel is the first baseman who hits for average, kind of, but doesn't have the pop yet, and probably doesn't barrel it as much as Alec. Like, Alec is what Nolan Schanuel wants to be, and that's a compliment because Nolan Schanuel is a pretty good player. I mean, he hits top three in the lineup for a Major League Baseball team. Not gonna say how good that Major League Baseball team is, but. Anyways, Alec Burleson's a dog, and like I said, really good dude. He was, when we met him right before his debut, he's like, Yeah, coach just texted me. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna be playing tomorrow." So it's pretty cool. I don't know. I mean, it was at a golf simulator. Really cool dude. All right, in the 4 hole, Nolan Gorman will be playing third base. I actually really like Nolan Gorman. It looks like he's finally going to get a full season this year, and I'm excited to see what kind of numbers he puts up because I don't know. He hit 27 homers in 119 games in 2023. The dude has a good bat. He honestly just finds the barrel a lot, like similar to Alec Burleson in a way, because he doesn't have crazy bat speed or anything, but just really finds that barrel. His mid isn't great, the glove isn't great, so that'll be interesting to see this year. Playing third base every day, and no more Arenado. But yeah, he definitely isn't a guy who's gonna hit for average either. So that's where he's different than Alec, but he does have a good eye at the plate. Yeah, I don't know. I've said all these great things about Nolan, but the last 2 years have honestly been pretty terrible. But I do think he's gonna have a productive season. I don't know why. Like I said, he finds the barrel. I like guys that find the barrel. He hit 27 homers in 2023. I still think he has that in him. He's gonna be playing every day. He's gonna be in a rhythm. He's gonna be comfortable. And this isn't going to be a good team, so I think he's just going to get a lot of opportunity. And that's something to be excited about, I think. I think he could really, I mean, if you're really going full rebuild here, Nolan Gorman puts up a good season, or maybe he's balling until the All-Star break. You trade him to a contender, probably get back some really nice pieces. So, yeah, I like Nolan. In the 5 hole, you got shortstop Mason Wynn. Mason Wynn's a good baseball player. I'm trying to find out if he'll be great though. He got his first Gold Glove last year, but only accumulated, 2.2 WAR compared to his 4.9 the year before. So, in other words, the bat was bad last year. In 129 games last year, he had 9 homers, slash 253 with a 310 on base and a 363 slug for a 673 OPS. He really wasn't that valuable this year. Or last year. I think he's gonna have a bounce back year at the plate, though. I think that he needs to walk more and get that bat speed up, and he'll be just fine. I was a big Mason Wynn guy back like when he was pitching as a kid, when he was like a two-way guy that just threw smoke, and he was a smaller guy, so I've always really liked Mason Wynn. I was mad when the Cardinals drafted him because I'm a Cubs fan. So yeah, that's how that lines up. But yeah, I like Mason. I think he can be all right. Yeah, in the 6 hole, I got second baseman JJ Wetherell. Wetherell. I don't know why I said that weird. JJ is a like complete rookie. So he's seen zero MLB time. If you haven't heard of him, I don't know. I've seen a lot about him ever since he was from West Virginia when he was there because I got a buddy who was playing there at the time, so he was reposting him all the time. Last year between double and triple A, he hit 306 with a 421 on base with 17 homers in 109 games. Yeah, the guy's a stud. A 931 OPS. That'll play. That will play. And like I said, he was a stud at West Virginia. He was a seventh overall pick for a reason. JJ's a dog, and I think he could be a sneaky rookie of the year candidate. If I was a gambling man, I probably would throw some money on this. So I like JJ. I haven't looked at his rookie of the year odds, but I gotta think they gotta be worth it. I don't know. He's gonna play every day, and he's got the bat, man. I don't know. Really like JJ. Really like JJ. I think he has chance to move up in this lineup, be like a 1 or 2 hole guy. I mean, he gets on base like at a great clip. So if Newt's struggling, look to JJ to be the leadoff hitter, maybe. But we'll see. It's always tough going from big difference from double and triple A where he was last year and the majors. So we'll see what happens. But I think he's got it in him. Now in the 7 hole, you got right fielder Jordan Walker. He's such an interesting player. I don't know where to go with this guy. I think he can be such a good hitter in this league, but I have no clue what's going to happen. He absolutely destroys the baseball and has the fastest bat speed in the sport. That being said, he's only had 27 homers in his 3 years of MLB time. He just hasn't produced at all. He's pretty awful in the field, but he has a crazy good arm. He's also weirdly kind of fast. You wouldn't think he would just because he's so big, but he is. And he strikes out way too much. 31% of the time he strikes out, and he whiffs at 36% of the pitches he sees. He just can't translate all that raw talent into anything yet. Like I said, he's whiffing, he's striking out. I still think he can though. We'll see. Like people love the bat speed these days. So he's gonna get time, obviously, on a bad Cardinals team, and maybe he'll put together a special year. I don't know. In the 8 hole, we got catcher Pedro Paez. I don't think Pedro is very good at all. That being said, he's pretty solid behind the plate. But his bat is so bad. Like, it is god awful. In his 180 games that he's played, he's hit 233 with a 275 on base and a 368 slugging percentage for a 643 OPS. Yuck. That is disgusting, and not in a good way. He really doesn't do anything good with his bat. He whiffs, he strikes out, he doesn't barrel anything up, doesn't hit for a high average, doesn't take his walks, doesn't hit the ball hard. You get the point. That being said, he's in the 8 hole for a reason, and he's in the lineup because he's solid behind the plate. He's not in the lineup because of his bat. So we'll see what he can do. He's kind of a Cubs killer, so maybe he'll just start hitting bombs against everybody. I don't know. I remember he hit a couple against the Cubs, so we'll see. And then I'm going to do another Cubs comparison with this 9 hole. Center fielder Victor Scott. This guy is PCA if PCA was the worst hitter in the league. Nicest way I could put it. Victor Scott is an absolute dog in the field and on the bases, and that's why he's here. He's going to track down fly balls like you've never seen, and he's going to steal bags. He's played 191 big league games, and he's hit 206 with a 283 on base, a 296 slugging, and a 601 OPS. Yes, 601. It's almost in the fives, fellas. He's a worse hitter than Pedro. And you know how bad I just talked about Pedro. Anyways, I don't need to talk about his bat much more than that. It's bad. That being said, he has a decent eye at the plate, and I think his ceiling at the plate is much higher than Pedro Paez. So that's what I'll say with that. And if you thought it wasn't rough yet, the starting pitching is where it's about to get real rough. Let's just dive into it. In the 1 hole, you got Matthew Liberatore. In a full year last year, he was very decent, but definitely wasn't an ace. He doesn't throw hard at all, doesn't strike guys out, but he limits walks a ton. I always like a guy who doesn't give up free bases, so that's my positive for him. He also has some solid off-speed pitches. His curveball is awesome. He also throws his slider a lot. Both of those pitches are big for him. He had a 4.21 ERA last year and 151.1 innings of work. I'd say he keeps improving every year, and last season was probably his best by many measures. But so maybe he'll keep improving and put together a career year next season. But we'll really have to wait and see. I don't have much more on Matthew. I like his curveball. I'll say that. In the 2 spot, Dustin May. This guy has the highest ceiling of any pitcher on this team, in my opinion. Last year was pretty awful. In 132 innings, he had a 4.96 ERA. Last year, he didn't get many whiffs. Strikeouts, he didn't get a lot of strikeouts either. And he gave up a lot of hard hit balls, and he walked too many people. All the bad things. Obviously, that's not what you want. I do think the Cardinals can find some of his 2023 self, though, where he had a 2.63 ERA, and 2021 and prior, where he was just fantastic. So Dustin has a good season in him, but we'll have to see what happens. I don't have any sort of prediction for this season because I think he's so unpredictable. Like, you don't know what's coming. He could be that old Dodger, or he could be post-injury. What was he, a Red Sox last year? So I don't know. You don't know what you're getting here, and I wouldn't want somebody so unpredictable in my 2 spot. But it's exciting upside with Dustin May, that's for sure. In the 3-hole, Andre Palante. Andre wasn't great last year. Just simply put, a 5.31 ERA and 162 innings with a 1.445 whip and a strikeout rate of 15%, which is the 4th percentile in Major League Baseball. The one thing I love about his game is how many ground balls he gets. He's in the 97th percentile in ground ball rate. Sorry, guys. He also doesn't get barreled up much at all. That being said, he's a bad pitcher. People hit the ball hard off him, and he doesn't strike people out. He's just not good. So, yeah, that's all I got on Andre. He's not good. Michael McGreevy, though. He's a guy. This is a guy that I actually kind of like. Michael McGreevy has some stuff. He put together a couple of really solid innings last year. He really doesn't walk anybody. He gets a lot of ground balls, which I'm sure you know I like by now. But I really like his fastball. It isn't an absolute heater of a fastball, but it has a good amount of run to it. It seems to play well for him for some reason. So he sets it up nicely with that sinker too and has a sweeper to go the opposite direction. So he's got a little run on his fastball, and then obviously the sweeper comes against it. A lot of pitchers have that type of arsenal, and it's an arsenal that I like. So in 118 big league innings, he's had an ERA below 4, which is something I also always like. So, yeah, Mike McGreevy, dare I say, most safe pitcher to bet on this year, and just best pitcher. Best pitcher on the Cardinals, so I like him. I mentioned Dustin May as a high ceiling guy. This guy in the 5-hole, though, Kyle Leahy, has probably a bigger ceiling. Kyle's another guy, pretty similar to the entire pitching staff in that he doesn't have a ton of big league experience. He had a very good 88 innings of work last season, 3.07 ERA with a 1.23 whip, and a 3.04 FIP. He's a reliever turning into a starter, which is always an interesting transition, so we'll see how that turns out. I think he might be the best pitcher on this staff, though. Also, if you go onto his Savant page, the 96th percentile extension really stands out to you. And so that 95 plays a lot faster than 95. I like Kyle a lot. I think he's a stud. So that wraps up the pitching staff. I'm not even going to touch on the bullpen. Cardinals always seem to figure it out in the bullpen, so I think they'll be okay in that department. But I'm just going to pretty much wrap this up here. The over-under for the Cardinals is probably the lowest it's ever been in my lifetime. 69.5 wins, which is the 4th worst over-under in baseball. So for everybody thinking I'm biased putting the Cardinals at 28, it's only one spot off of what Vegas thinks. So it's just not a good pitching staff, and really not a great lineup. So 69.5, though, does seem low. I think the NL Central is going to be really competitive. So I actually will go on the over on this. I think they go low 70s wins. So I would take the over on 69.5. The Cardinals always seem to figure it out. That being said, I think they're definitely probably going to get last in the division. And yeah, they're just not good on paper. And they always seem to outperform projections, though. So I'm not going to count them out by any means. But these guys look, it's like looking at Major League on paper, like the movie. And they're like, these guys stink. That's what I'm looking at with this roster. So have some fun players. I think you got to trade some of those guys if you're going full rebuild. Nolan Gorman's got to be traded at the All-Star break if you can get anything for him. Guys like Lars Nootbaar, I think some contending team would take him as well. Even Alec Burleson's a little old. So maybe basically build around your middle infield of Mason Wynn and J.J. Weatherall. If Jordan Walker turns out, awesome. Ivan Herrera, obviously, you want to keep him around. So I think if they're going full rebuild, just sell everybody. Get some prospects. Just do it. I mean, I know they already made some trades with Boston. getting rid of Contreras, getting rid of Sonny Gray. So I like the way they're moving. I hope they don't do a successful rebuild as a Cubs fan, but I'm sure they probably will because the Cardinals are an organization that has always been run well. So that is my prediction on the Cardinals. Take that over, gambling men. Oh, also, this video was sponsored by SeatGeek. Check out the code. I believe it's going to be right over there. Use our code. Get $20 off your first purchase. If you've used SeatGeek before, create a new email. Make a new account. Then use the code. I know you guys got extra emails. So it helped me out for sure. So, yeah. Go SeatGeek. #1 ticketing app. Use it. And thank you guys for watching. Take that over on the Cardinals this year. They are not going to be good, though. Don't get me wrong. But until next time, for the 27th team, stay tuned. Peace.